A 65-year-old billionaire is about to climb into a musical instrument case. Carlos Ghosn, the man who saved Nissan from bankruptcy and built one of the world's largest automotive alliances, is folding himself into a box designed for a double bass. This is how one of the most powerful executives in global business will escape from Japan. November 19th, 2018. Haneda Airport, Tokyo. Carlos steps off his private Gulfstream jet, expecting another routine business trip. 4 men in dark suits board the plane. They're not immigration officers. Within minutes, Carlos is in handcuffs, being driven to a detention center. No phone call, no lawyer, no explanation. Just a cold cell with concrete walls and a metal bed. The charges? Underreporting $80 million in compensation over 8 years. Nissan executives claim he betrayed the company. But there's something they're not saying at the press conference. Carlos wanted to merge Nissan completely with Renault, bringing the Japanese automaker under French control. Japanese executives couldn't allow that, couldn't surrender their independence. So they found another way to stop him. Japan's conviction rate is 99.9%. Once you're charged, you're done. Carlos doesn't understand this yet. He rescued Nissan from near collapse in 1999. He generated billions in value. Now they're treating him like a common criminal. The interrogations begin immediately. 8 in the morning, every single day. Prosecutors ask the same questions for 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours straight. Did you hide payments? Did you misuse company funds? Carlos refuses to confess because he believes everything was legal and properly documented. Japanese prosecutors don't care about his documentation. They want a confession. That's how their system works. His cell measures about 10 square meters. Concrete walls, metal toilet, no privacy, no heating during Tokyo's brutal winter. The food is terrible. Rice, miso soup, pickles, same meal every day. Carlos loses 15 kilograms in 3 months. His lawyers file for bail 3 times. Rejected, rejected, rejected. International pressure finally breaks through. France protests, Lebanon protests, Brazil protests. In March 2019, bail is granted $9 million, a record amount for Japan. But there are conditions. Carlos must stay in Japan. No internet access, no phone, 24-hour surveillance. Report to police twice weekly. He rents a small apartment in Tokyo and tries to prepare for trial. His wife Carol arrives from Lebanon. They haven't seen each other in over 100 days. They finally have one peaceful night together. Then, at 5:50 in the morning on April 4th, 20 prosecutors crash through the door. New charges, new arrest. They drag Carlos out of bed in handcuffs while Carol screams. He spends another 30 days in detention. Second bail costs $5 million more. Total, $14 million. Now the conditions are even stricter. Carol is banned from Japan entirely, accused of witness tampering. They can't see each other, can't speak, can't communicate. Carlos is alone again, under constant surveillance, waiting for a trial scheduled for April 2020. If convicted, he faces 15 years in a Japanese prison. He's 65 years old. 15 years is essentially a death sentence. That's when Carlos makes his decision. He's not going to trial, he's not dying in a Japanese prison, he's going to disappear. In Beirut, Carol sits in a cafe meeting people she hasn't seen in years. Former military contractors, security specialists, people who move other people across borders when governments say they can't move. She explains the situation. Her husband is trapped under house arrest. Trial in 4 months, facing prison. Possibly death. She needs him out. They study maps, review surveillance reports, calculate risks. One contractor says it's possible. Difficult, dangerous, expensive, but possible. The problem is obvious. Carlos can't leave Japan legally. His 3 passports are locked in his lawyer's safe. Airports are impossible. Immigration scans everyone. He'd be identified instantly. The solution? Smuggle him out as cargo. But how do you smuggle one of the most recognizable faces in international business? Someone suggests a musical instrument case. Big enough for a person, common enough that nobody questions it. Musicians transport equipment everywhere. The plan begins taking shape. What they're about to attempt will become one of the most audacious escapes in modern history. The plan develops over 2 weeks. A band performs at Carlos's apartment. Gregorian chants, private concert, normal enough that surveillance won't suspect anything. While they play, Carlos climbs into a custom double bass case. Padded interior, air holes drilled through the sides. The musicians carry him out with their equipment. From there, transport to Osaka, 500 kilometers from Tokyo. Smaller airport, weaker security, fewer questions. Then a private jet to Istanbul. Turkish customs rarely inspect private flights thoroughly. Finally, a second plane to Beirut. Home, safety, freedom, cost. Somewhere between $14 and $20 million. Roughly the same amount Carlos already paid for bail. The date is set, December 29th, Sunday. Christmas week means lighter surveillance, fewer staff working, less attention to detail. 6 contractors assemble, former special forces operators, extraction specialists, people who've moved high-value targets across hostile borders before. They bring equipment, the modified instrument case, 2 private jets chartered through Turkish shell companies, cash payments, no questions asked, fake passports, backup identities, contingency plans for every possible complication. Everything is ready. Carol sends one encrypted message to Carlos, December 29th. Be prepared. Trust the band. He reads it, understands completely, deletes it immediately. December 29th, 2019, 7 in the evening. A white van parks outside Carlos's apartment building. 6 men exit wearing formal attire, carrying instrument cases. The surveillance team logs their arrival. Musicians, 7:02, scheduled performance. Nothing unusual, they're not musicians, they're contractors. Former Israeli special forces, former French intelligence, experts in making people disappear. Carlos opens the door, greets them like old friends. They enter and begin setting up. Violins, cellos, a keyboard. One large case sits in the corner. The double bass case, empty. They start playing. Beautiful Gregorian chants fill the apartment. Surveillance hears the music through their monitoring equipment. Everything appears normal. Carlos sits listening, his heart hammering against his ribs. This is happening. Right now. 90 minutes of music, precisely timed. Not too brief, not suspiciously long. At 8:45, they stop, begin packing their instruments. Carlos excuses himself, walks down the hallway to the bathroom. Out of camera view, one contractor waits there, opens the double bass case. Inside, padding, foam, air holes. Carlos stares at the cramped space. He's 65 years old, a billionaire, about to fold himself into a box like contraband cargo. But what's his alternative? Prison, death, Japan. He climbs inside, knees to chest, head down, barely fits. The contractor seals it, locks it, lifts it. 80 kilograms, Carlos plus case. They wheel it to the living room, heel. Load it with the other instruments. Surveillance cameras watch them leave. 8:52, musicians departing. Normal conclusion to an evening performance. They don't see Carlos. He's sealed inside the case, in complete darkness, unable to breathe properly through the small air holes. The van drives through Tokyo, past police checkpoints, past patrol cars. Nobody stops them, just a band finishing a gig. Inside the case, Carlos fights rising panic. It's dark, hot, cramped. The air holes provide barely enough oxygen. He forces himself to breathe slowly, steadily. This is temporary, just temporary. 30 minutes later, they reach a hotel near Tokyo Station. Underground parking, service elevator, 3rd floor, private room. They open the case. Carlos climbs out, gasping, drenched in sweat. His legs are cramped, screaming with pain. But he's out of his apartment, out from under surveillance. Phase 1 complete. Now comes Phase 2. The bullet train. Tokyo Station at 9:30. Carlos looks different now. Casual clothes, baseball cap pulled low, glasses. Unremarkable. 2 contractors accompany him. They blend into the crowd perfectly. Just tired businessmen heading home after a long day. The station is packed even on Sunday night. Thousands of people rushing past. Nobody gives Carlos a second glance. They purchase tickets separately. Shinkansen to Osaka. The bullet train departs at 10:15. They board different cars. Carlos takes a window seat alone. His hands won't stop shaking. This is the most dangerous moment. If anyone recognizes his face, everything ends, but nobody looks at him. Everyone's absorbed in their phones or sleeping or lost in their own thoughts. The train departs exactly on schedule, 300 kilometers per hour. Silent, fast. Carlos watches Tokyo's lights fade into darkness, wondering if he'll ever see this city again. The train reaches Osaka just past midnight. They exit separately. A car waits outside, drives to a hotel near Kansai Airport. Check-in under fake names. Cash payment. In the room, 2 large equipment cases. Audio gear, big enough for a person. Carlos knows what this means. Back into the box. 1 in the morning. Private terminal at Kansai Airport, nearly deserted. Minimal security. 2 men wheel equipment cases toward a bombardier jet. Flight plan filed for Istanbul. Cargo, audio equipment. Nobody inspects the cases. Private flights bypass regular security. The cases load into the cargo hold. Door closes. Inside one case, Carlos lies folded in darkness again. This is the longest stretch. 11 hours to Istanbul, 40,000 feet up. If the plane crashes, he dies in a box. If Turkish customs inspects the cargo, he's arrested. But if everything works, in 11 hours, he's free. If you made it this far, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. Anyways, back to the story. The plane climbs into the night sky. Carlos tries staying calm, tries breathing through the air holes. It's dark, hot. The air thins at altitude. He hears the engines, feels every vibration, every bump, every turn. Hours pass. He doesn't know how many. No watch, no phone, no light, just darkness and waiting and fear. His legs go completely numb. His back screams. He can't move, can't stretch, can't adjust position. But he endures because prison is worse. Somewhere over Turkey, he loses consciousness. Exhaustion, oxygen deprivation, stress. He wakes when the plane descends. 5:26 Turkish time, Istanbul. Ataturk Airport private terminal. Turkish customs doesn't inspect private flights thoroughly, just logs arrivals, checks paperwork, the cases unload, wheeled to a hangar. The contractors open Carlos's case. He's barely conscious, covered in sweat, dehydrated. They pull him out. Give him water. He can barely stand after 11 hours folded in a box at 65 years old. But he's in Turkey, out of Japan, one step closer. They move fast, transfer Carlos to a car, drive across the airport, another terminal, another private jet, smaller, Challenger 300. This one flies to Beirut. Final destination. 2 hours. Carlos doesn't hide in a case this time, just boards normally. Sits in an actual seat. 6:03. The plane takes off. Carlos stares out the window at Istanbul, at the sunrise, at freedom. Almost there, 7:14. The plane descends into Beirut. Carlos sees the Mediterranean, the coast, the mountains, home, Lebanon, where he was raised, where his family lives, where he holds citizenship, where Japan cannot touch him. The plane lands, private terminal, minimal security. Carlos exits, steps onto Lebanese soil, breathes Lebanese air. A security official approaches, checks identification. Carlos hands over his Lebanese ID card, the real one. The official stamps it, welcomes him home. That's it. No questions, no arrest, no extradition. Carlos walks to a waiting car. His family waits inside. Carol, his children. They embrace, cry, hold each other. After 400 days of detention, house arrest and surveillance, Carlos Ghosn is free. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, the surveillance team notices something wrong around 10 in the morning. They haven't seen Carlos all day. Usually he walks past windows, makes coffee, moves around. Today, nothing. Complete silence. They check the GPS tracker. Signal shows he's inside the apartment, but not moving. They knock. No answer. Call his lawyer. Lawyer can't reach him either. By noon, they enter the apartment. Search every room. Carlos Ghosn is gone. GPS tracker found on the floor. Cut off. abandoned. Tokyo Metropolitan Police get notified immediately. Issue a warrant, call immigration. Immigration has no record of Carlos Ghosn leaving Japan. No passport scan, no exit stamp. Impossible. How did he leave without a passport? By December 31st, news breaks worldwide. Carlos Ghosn escaped to Lebanon. Japan is humiliated, international embarrassment, 99.9% conviction rate, 24-hour surveillance, $14 million in bail, and he escaped inside a musical instrument case on a private jet. Japan demands Lebanon extradite him. Lebanon refuses. He's our citizen. France refuses. He's our citizen. Brazil refuses. He's our citizen. Interpol issues a red notice. International arrest warrant. Meaningless. Red notices don't force extradition. As long as Carlos stays in Lebanon, he's untouchable. Japan cannot arrest him, cannot try him. Complete failure. January 8th, 2020, Beirut. Carlos holds his first press conference since escaping. Hundreds of journalists, cameras everywhere. The world watches. He speaks for 2 hours, explains everything. The charges were fabricated. Nissan executives conspired to prevent the merger, to destroy him personally. Japan's justice system is rigged. Guilty until proven innocent. Confessions extracted through psychological torture. He didn't flee justice. He escaped injustice. Journalists ask how he escaped. Carlos refuses to answer, to protect those who helped him. But Lebanese media already reported the details. The band, the double bass case, the jets. The story goes viral instantly. A billionaire smuggled across international borders inside a box. Even Yamaha releases a statement. We do not recommend hiding in musical instrument cases. The joke spreads worldwide. For Carlos, it's vindication. For Japan, humiliation. He's 71 now, lives in exile, can never return to Japan or France or most of the world. But he's alive. He's free. He's with his family, and he pulled off one of the most daring escapes in modern history by hiding in a box and trusting a plan that required everything to go perfectly. It did.